parties only support this
so
country and want the development of this country,
young men
BJP
who were chanting Jai Shri Ram were put into the jail because they had the audacity to chant Jai Shri Ram in her convoy, that is, what do you call that is the Hindutva that you want people to believe in? Is, if you don't believe in religion as being your calling card, don't use it. I mean, I'm just saying, where is your conviction? Because you use it because you feel कि 30 को appease करते करते 70 निकल ना जाए हाथ से. Isn't that the fear, Dr. Anand Ranganathan?
Yes. Good evening, Navika. From Didi to Sadhvi. It won't be long before she begins her rally speeches with chants of Jai Shri Ram. Amazing what Modi can make you do, पहले राहुल से कोर्ट के ऊपर जनेऊ चढ़वाई, अब दीदी से मंदिर की घंटी बजवा रहे हैं. इट्स अ टफ कॉल, बट नेक्स्ट इन लाइन माइट बी ओवैसी, हर्टलिंग आउट गौड़ सांडे, गोत्रा शांडिल्या, प्रवार वशिष्ठ, वेद यजुर्वेद, उपवेद मित्रयानी, मुख श्रीमुख, कुल देवता तप्तेश्वरी, चरण वाम, before he is caught out by an exasperated sigh of Ya Allah. Look, when it comes to appeasement, Didi is peerless, and I don't mean a chit fund here. Whether it be changing Ram Dhenu to Wrong Dhenu, opposing CAA, appointing a Muslim on Tarkeshwar Temple Board, providing midday meal dining halls for only those schools having 70% or more minority students, curtailing the time duration traditionally permitted for Durga idol immersion to make way for Muharram procession, a decision blasted and struck down by the High Court, granting 2.6 crores of taxpayers' money to Furfura Sharif, promising to give land to imams for construction of houses, paying more than 30,000 imams 2,500 rupees per month and over 15,000 muezzins 1,500 rupees per month, till this blatant communal move was struck down by the High Court. 8 years later, in the face of uproar, she sanctioned a much lower stipend and much lesser number for Hindu priests. Remember, when accused of Muslim appeasement in the face of minority anger, she said famously, "Je goru doodh dei tar lathiyo khete hoi." If a cow gives milk, one has to be prepared for kicks. Navika, please give me 30 seconds. In fact, her Muslim appeasement went so ridiculously overboard that even the Muslims were embarrassed and demanded that she stop it. 50 Muslim residents of Kolkata wrote her a letter in the wake of a horrible double crime to not remain passive because of Muslim identity of the assailants. But now she is rightly worried because Modi, complete with a Bengali Dada Moni look, has landed. The camel has begun to sneak into the tent. Ager din gulo ruchikor hobe nobika.
খেলা হচ্ছে সেই তো দেখছি খেলা হচ্ছে. We get in Anand Ranganathan, isn't that alliance the reason that Mamta Banerjee is now really worried that the Muslim vote could just split because there is an Abbas Siddiqui phenomenon that is happening. There is the left, there is the Congress party which will take away my Muslim vote and their Hindu vote will go to the BJP as well, and it is this churning and what you called the camel getting into the tent that is the big problem why Chandi Path and Jai Durga has become such a huge cry today.
Oh, absolutely, Navika, no doubt about it. In fact, there is a Hindi proverb, na ghar ke na ghat ke. So now Didi is really worried because her Muslim vote is also going to be split and shared perhaps by the other communal parties, and the Hindu vote as being strongly consolidated by the BJP. But here, if I can make 2 points very quickly on my good friend Rijuda, who said that, there is no appeasement. Can he deny this fact? It's a straight question to him, Rijuda. And please listen to the question. That 10 years ago, Didi sanctioned 30,000 imams, a sanction of 2,500 rupees per month as a stipend when she did no such thing for Hindu priests. Why did she do it? I'll wait for your answer before I come to the second point.
See, that was obviously done. That was obviously, and now the Hindu priests are also being reimbursed.
But why the Muslim imams first? That's the question that Dr. Anand
Why
Ranganathan
did she do it?
That it is a fact.
Why
Anand
did she do it?
Ranganathan knows.
Because the representation of the Hindu imams, there is always a protocol in the state machinery. They approach the CM of the state.
Hindu imams. Anand Ranganathan.
Hindu imam.
Freudian slip, it's called.
No,
Rijuda, you've been caught. Yes, so let me move on. Let me gracefully move on. No, the important point, Navika, is that no one, unfortunately, is holier than thou. No party is secular. Everyone may be plural. So when Rijuda says that she goes to temple, she goes as a state, representative of the state and beholder of the constitution, she has no business to go and mix religion with the state. But every political party does it, including BJP, everyone. You know, secularism means total separation of church and state. So we are not secular, we are plural.
Today, the religious run reminds me of Sholay, where the jailer had to say, "Aadhe idhar jao," because that ISF party has come, "Aadhe udhar jao," which BJP is doing with Jai Shri Ram, and Mamta Banerjee finds कि उनके पीछे कोई बचा नहीं है, तो आधे तो इधर चले जाएंगे, आधे उधर चले जाएंगे, और वो खड़ी रह जाएंगी. ये स्थिति लग रही है आज, इसलिए आज रिलीजियस रन हो रहा है.
आधे चले जाएंगे कांग्रेस के पीछे.
Ishkaran mentioned Sholay.
डॉक्टर आनंद रंगनाथन,
कांग्रेस के पीछे
आधे चले जाएंगे कांग्रेस के पीछे. क्या कह रहे हैं इश्करन जी?
ISF के पीछे. Navika, you are being twisting my words. I said ISF के पीछे जाएंगे.
Ishkaran, 1 second. Ishkaran.
Allow me, Navika, quick point.
Ishkaran, no, Navika, Ishkaran mentioned the dialogue from Sholay. शोले से मुझे एक और डायलॉग याद आ गया. दीदी यूज्ड टू से मैं चलती हूँ, मेरी नमाज का वक्त हो गया है. नाउ दीदी इज गोइंग टू से मैं चलती हूँ, मेरी आरती का वक्त हो गया है.
Point well made. Let me get in Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, I want to ask you, you know, when she's looking at the numbers of the voters in the constituency of Nandigram, when she's looking at the fact that there are 63,000 Muslim voters, but there are almost 1.7 lakh Hindu voters, you know, suddenly she's realized that she shouldn't be possibly taking any chances. She doesn't realize that, you know, people haven't forgotten the fact that Durga Puja immersion was not allowed. She hasn't, nobody will let her forget the fact that there were Muslim clerics who were given stipends, but, the Hindu priests were thought of much later. You know, instead she comes in with Chandi Path, 19 temple visited on one day, and then, you know, she's talking about consolidating her Hindu vote, reciting her Gotra as well on the last day. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, has BJP successfully, you know, contained Mamata Banerjee with this strategy into Nandigram so that the rest of the 29 seats is where they could have a free-for-all?
Good evening, Navika. If you remember 2 weeks ago on your show, I predicted that it might be Owaisi who might disclose his Gotra. But I was wrong. Turns out it is Didi. But, you know, to be honest, at one level, Bengal is a jungle now. And the only law of the jungle is survival of the fittest. As simple as that. The other, equally crucial endowment of Darwinian evolution, empathy, is entirely missing. Navika, this is a fight to the finish, and both adversary knows this. In a way, Didi's behavior reminds me of that iconic photo, you know, The Last Stand by the wildlife photographer John Dominus. The issue don't matter anymore. The back is against the wall. Abuses, lies, scaremongering, dog whistling, it's all kosher. Ironic. But if you go back a decade, this is exactly how the communists were behaving against Didi.
Yeah.
They knew it was their last battle then. She was the David then. And today, she's the Goliath. Psychologists call it the oppressor syndrome, you know. You inflict on others what was inflicted on you. It has been the case now for decades that a Bengal politician rides the tail of a tiger. Violence is second nature, unfortunately. And we've seen this in the past few years, how violence has been totally mainstreamed in Bengal. No one even bats an eyelid anymore when you tell them that 34% of seats, an astonishing 20,000 seats, went uncontested in the last Bengal Panchayat elections. No one bats an eyelid when you tell them of the trampling of press freedom, of subservient media in Bengal, of the brutal stomping of freedom of speech and expression, of common citizens, of diktats to universities curbing their freedom, of the sitting chief minister herself ordering her party leaders to return the cut money they have extorted from citizens and businesses, of arrests of doctors who complain about health infrastructure, be it for dengue or COVID, of the political violence and killings. No one bats an eyelid, Navika. It doesn't get mentioned in the reports prepared by those who certify India's democracy. Why? Because everyone has sensed that this is how life in a jungle operates. The laws are different. One just hopes that those traversing through this jungle find a clearing soon. Finally, Navika, just 10 seconds. You want to know the reason why violence continues decade on decade? Because the enablers who mainstream it are never punished. They jump ship. A huge chunk of CPI MLAs switched to TMC a decade ago. So here's a simple question to the BJP. Out of the 294 BJP candidates, how many are ex-TMC? Give me the number.